Hello everybody and welcome back to Ashley Shamise. So if you haven't already, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. Also, go ahead and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified for when the next time I upload a video. So today I'm going to be talking to you about 11 reasons that may be the reason why you keep getting in these negative, low-hanging fruit, low-flung relationships. These are some golden nuggets I have for you to take away, so please stay tuned. Number one, you are too trusting. If you are too trusting, you're going to prematurely trust people with things that you otherwise should wait a while in order to gain their trust. Number two, one of the reasons you may hop into these low-flunged, low-hanging fruit, negative relationships is because you're simply being fake. You're not being yourself. You're not coming in with your true authenticness. Instead, you're being fake. You're being somebody that you're not in order to keep this person, or in hopes of keeping this person, when, as you all know, you get to hanging around somebody long enough, they stuff gonna start to come out. Same goes for all of us. We cannot hold down who we truly are when we get into a close-knit relationship with somebody. That true self is bound to surface, and you acting fake is not going to be the reason why you keep this person. Another reason why you may get into these low hanging fruit negative relationships is gaslighting communication. And you may be wondering, okay, what do you mean by that? So a lot of the times people may gaslight you into thinking that, okay, you're crazy, when in fact you're not crazy. You're just maybe a certain boundary. And because they can't take it, they're going to blame you some kind of way of being crazy or cuckoo as a means to control you. For example, let's say that you ask your boyfriend or your girlfriend to pick you up at 4:30 from your job. Let's just say 4:30 in the afternoon, right? So you leave out of your job, it's 4:30 in the afternoon, and your boyfriend or girlfriend is supposed to meet you out in the parking lot to pick you up. You notice they're not there. So you go on your phone, you're like, hey, we had a conversation today. You're supposed to pick me up at 4:30. Let's just say this is the third time this has happened. And on the third time, this being this situation right now, they say, no, I don't remember that conversation. And you know without a shadow of a doubt, you literally just had this conversation like the day prior. And you're wondering why they're not picking you up. Well, instead, some people who unfortunately are immature, instead of taking responsibility of forgetting, they'll sit there and say, I don't remember that conversation. I mean, you sounded really crazy right now. If you had just told me, I would have been here on time, but I guess, I don't know, you making up stuff. I don't remember that. Gaslighting. And that's one of the reasons how people control people, to cause them to stay in these negative, low-hanging fruit, bust up relationships. Number four, you are hoping for a fairy tale relationship. You're going in with these ideas based off of something you watched off Netflix, based off of cartoons that you've been watching since you were a little girl, in hopes that, oh my gosh, my Prince Charming or my princess or my queen is coming, when in actuality, that's just simply not reality. What you saw on Netflix, what you saw on Tubi, well, what you saw on Tubi might be correct. That might be true. But what you watched on some YouTube channel, be careful. People on YouTube, not all, but a lot of people on YouTube are letting you know the pretty. They're letting you in on the calm evenings that they're having at the house with their spouse. They're letting you in on the payday period when they got money and they're ready to ball out. A lot of people are not going to hit that on button. They're not going to hit that record button when argument is fixing to ensue. They're not going to hit that record button when they know that their baby daddy is in the backdrop somewhere, or their baby mama's in the backdrop somewhere, and she about ready to show up at the house and she's about ready to scrap. Unless it's, of course, it is some gutter trash going on. But I'm talking about people who generally watch clean things and clean, couples on YouTube. Please do not let that get you tripped up. A lot of that is fairy tale. That is a reason why that people enter into and stay in these negative relationships, because they have this strange and everlasting hope that, I mean, it could turn around. It really could turn into a fairy tale. And do not get me started on spiritual trauma. Some people will use their belief system based off of somebody else's story of how it started off so bad and then he became this awesome, just beautiful, wonderful, godly man. Not saying that's not true, but do not cash in all your hope on someone else's story, on someone else's glory story or fairy tale. Number 5, another reason why you may stay in these negative, low-hanging fruit relationships is trauma bonds. Now, some folk, maybe you all were going through it back in the day. You all both have similar stories, and you figure, well, she gets me, he gets me. Wow, this is all the more the reason to enter into this relationship when you have not seen this person at their worst. You haven't went through the checklist of things. You haven't took your time. You haven't slowed down. You're allowing these trauma bonds to get you in an entanglement with somebody. Trauma bonds are just what they are, trauma bonds. As long as something is traumatic going on, or you're going through something traumatic, or you're getting over something traumatic, you all are bonded up. However, once you start to get over that trauma, that bond's going to break, because the trauma is what kept you all together in the first place. So now that you no longer have trauma to bond over, you got to find something else new. And a lot of people are not used to that. A lot of people are used to people are used to chaos, something always popping off, going on. When some people don't have that anymore, they're lost. They don't know what to do with themselves. They don't know. They're so used to the chaos, they don't know what it's like to have peace. And sometimes peace, unfortunately, in an odd, contradictory way, is the reason why they feel like they're no longer compatible, and that's what was keeping them together. Number 6, usury. Some people enter into relationships with people knowing it's going to go bad because they're fixated strictly on using you. Whether it be you using the person or the person using you, whether it be for money, fame, clout, something that they have that you need, usury is not going to be a good reason to enter into a relationship with somebody. Somebody's going to end up getting hurt. Somebody's going to end up feeling spiteful, and things are really going to take a left turn. So be mindful of people entering in based off of what you have. Number 7, body image issues. A lot of people enter in and stay in negative, low-hanging fruit relationships because they have a negative self-image of themselves, and perhaps this other person doesn't see it the same way they do. However, the person still may be an abusive person. And because some people have a negative self-image, they are willing to tolerate more negativity in a relationship because they feel like, well, yeah, the person may call me names or whatever, but they're still there with me. They're my ride and die. They're there with me to the end of time. However, just because somebody's considered a ride or die doesn't mean they're really there for you. And if you're basing them being there for you because they're showing some type of support, but they're really not there for you, and the root of your issues is your self-image, chances are they're just there for something of convenience, but not because they're there to truly be there for you. Number 8, you want your ego to be fed. This entails people who want to be placed on a pedestal. I would never look for another human being to put me on a pedestal or for me to put them on a pedestal. Nobody in a relationship needs to be put on any pedestals, okay? We are flawed human beings, and the last thing we need to be placed on is a pedestal. We just need to look at each other as having the propensity to mess up, but also have the forgiveness there to forgive that person. So if you're going in there for some type of stroking of the ego, get ready to enter into some negative low-hanging fruitness, because that's going to be a very fruitless and a very unfruitful relationship. It will be fruitful in negativity, but it will not be fruitful in positivity. And plus, you don't want nobody worshiping you. That's crazy. As human beings, we are flawed and we were not meant to be worshiped. And you don't want to be worshiping someone else. That is ridiculousness, y'all. Number 9, another reason why you may find yourself trapped off in these negative relationships is due to competition. You are trying to one up him or you are trying to one up her. You all have this unhealthy, weird competition where, okay, I can make more money than him or I can make more money than her. I'm going to move ahead quicker in my career than him, and I'm going to move ahead quicker in my career than her. That is a recipe for disaster. You should never be going into a relationship based on competition. It should be based on complementing each other. It should be complementary, not competition. Remember, you're in this together. You're not fighting each other. You're fighting together. You're fighting together, but you're not fighting together. Get what I'm saying? You're fighting together something else. You're not fighting each other. Number 10, savior complex. Oh my goodness. Please do not go into a relationship and dare not get married based off a savior complex, okay? Because let me tell you something. You're going to be wearing a cape for the rest of your life or as long as you're in that marriage. And it's one thing if you feel sorry for somebody, they done fell on rough times, you're there to help them, whether it be in their health or finances, emotional, mental, whatever, physical. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. However, do not feel like just because you all have formed up a bond, you got to go and get married to this person strictly off of feeling like you are there to save their life, because you actually want to be with them and grow in a lifelong journey with them. Number 11, self-hate issues. Self-hate can cause you to stay in a negative and low-hanging fruit relationship. Just recently, I heard something on a Facebook reel where this guy talked about different people of different cultures getting with certain people of certain cultures. He really, really made a lot of sense in it. So I'll just say it like this. He said that some people get with certain people because they have a self-hate complex. And if you think about it, if you ask the person who hates themselves, why are you with that person? And they can't give you any other reasons other than something weird like, oh, because we're going to have beautiful babies, or she comes from a pretty cool background of people, or she has a really good job. If they're not saying anything about that person, like, I love this person is supportive, this person loves me, this person is very caring, this person is there for me when I need them. If they're not talking about their actual characteristic attributes and they're talking more about what they can offer them, that is a humongous red flag. And that says a lot more about what's going on with that person internally. That's going to help you see the reasons why they got with who they got with. Get what I'm saying? So ultimately, just to sum this up in short, if you are going into a relationship strictly based on having some sort of biracial kid or some type of privilege that you feel you can have if you get with these certain type of people because you hate yourself, don't even marry the person. Just don't even, honestly, don't do that to yourself. Don't even do that to yourself. Do the self-work, do the self-healing, because what's going to wind up happening, you're going to be hurting them, they're going to be hurting you, and chances are, I would even go on record to say, if somebody is getting with someone with self-hate issues and they can't tell, it may be some kindred spirit thing going on. Because two people who hate themselves cannot love each other. Point blank, period. Alright, so I have a bonus one for you all. And this bonus one is a fear of starting over. The reason why you may stay in these negative, low-hanging fruit, terrible relationships is simply because of a fear of having to start all over again. You have gotten so used to being treated with disrespect, with a lack of support, perhaps lack of love, because you're so used to being in a dysfunctional, bankrupt relationship with this person. You've been in there so long, you know what to expect. There's nothing new. There's nothing that's going to surprise you. And because you're so used to it, well, you're like, oh my gosh, well, if I get out of this, oh my gosh, I'm afraid of going into a relationship with somebody else because they may be like this but different. And then I got to learn all these new scary things about this person that I don't want to learn about. I would say do not shortchange yourself, because everybody is not looking to get into a relationship because they're damaged. A lot of people are entering into these relationships because they're not talking, they're settling, they're hoping, and like a lot of the things I listed throughout this video, they're looking for a fairy tale and all this crazy madness. So do not allow the fear of starting over keep you from meeting somebody that very well can be within your destiny of meeting them, but you're never going to meet them if you have a fear of getting out of where you are and starting over again into possibly something very beautiful. I hope this video was very helpful to you all. If you haven't already, again, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Also share this video if you feel like someone else can benefit from it. Also, thank you so much to the new recent subscribers. I greatly appreciate you all jumping on board. You're welcome here. Feel free to comment all that good stuff in the comment section. Ask questions. I can't guarantee I'm going to answer all of them, but I definitely do try to communicate with everybody who does leave a comment. Thank you all so much, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.